Hey there, I'm Rob Reed, the owner of Bison Fire Protection, and welcome to this week's Bison Bit. Now, this week I want to talk about can't versus won't. It's interesting. I was in a chat room the other day with a bunch of CEOs, and one of them brought this up and said, "You know what? Do you understand the difference between can't versus won't?" So, this one for me is a bit of a newer concept, but I really want to hear back from everybody, some great comments and some great conversation about it because it's an interesting topic. We got into it a little bit and we talked about can't. If an employee says, I can't do that, well, is it truly that they can't? Or is it more that they won't? Have they made that mental distinction in their mind that they're just not going to do it? And so you got to take a few minutes and really break it down with them and say, what's going on here? Like, are you not maybe physically able? Is that why you don't want to do it? Or, are you not emotionally able? Is it just something that takes too much away from you? Some people just, they're tapped, or maybe the subject or the process or project is just too much for them to take on emotionally. Of course, when we talk about that, there's all kinds of things that go with it. We've had people that are great salespeople, but terrible public speakers. So one-on-one, they were fantastic, but even doing a presentation in a small group just terrified them. So they couldn't do it. And I understand that. So we work with that and help them around it. Maybe they can't do it because they haven't been trained. Maybe you haven't invested in your people and haven't given them the skills that they need to actually do the job. Again, another important thing to understand when they say, I can't. I won't is a totally different situation, I believe. Are you asking to do something that maybe violates their ethics or their morals, maybe some sort of spiritual beliefs? You're asking them to do something that is completely outside of their comfort zone. That, I get it. You don't want to ever put someone in that kind of a position. But maybe they're saying, well, in their mind, it's not my job. I'm not going to do that. So maybe it's a simple task and maybe you need someone to be able to step up and help here or there. And they've just, drawn a line in the sand and said, I won't do that. Well, you know what? That's a conversation you need to be able to break down and have as well. Of course, maybe there's the whole defensive, defiant thing. And I know that one kind of rolls in with the previous point. But, sometimes people are just, you ask them to do something and the first answer is no, no matter what. And that's a problem. You need to be able to have that conversation and break through that particular barrier. I'm going to say the biggest thing, though, is possibly the fear of the outcome. Fear is the biggest thing that holds people back in this world, whether it's doing something, public speaking, as I said earlier, but is it more so, fear of even doing something? How many great salespeople I know that will not do a video? How many people are just afraid that maybe someone's going to laugh at them or afraid that someone's going to talk about them behind their back? And because of that, they just will not do a particular activity no matter what. Now, I am of the belief that with this, you can come to I'll say the crux or the nut of the problem just by having some great conversation, really giving them the opportunity to express themselves and showing some true empathy to understand why they either can't or won't. Because if it's a can't for the reasons I laid out earlier, you understand that and help them train them wherever that may go. If it's won't and it's a defiant and they're not going to get past it, well, that's a whole different outcome. And that's a decision that as a business leader, a manager, a CEO, I don't care. If you're in a position of authority and you are leading a team, big or small, you have to be able to get past that next point. And if you can't, you have a problem. And if they can't, well, then you probably have a pretty good understanding of what the next steps are going to be. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Maybe they're just looking for a new opportunity in an area where, that particular new job or that new company will fit their skill sets and allow them to grow there. Anyway, like I said earlier, I really do want to hear back from everyone. I think this is a pretty loaded conversation, and I really want to hear back from you, whether it's on Facebook or LinkedIn. I get a lot of great conversation on LinkedIn, and I certainly have been getting a lot more likes and follows on YouTube lately, so let's keep that rolling. Have a great day.